Sam Harris has a terminal, stage 4 level out of Trump derangement syndrome, okay? You take a look at any of his podcasts that are out there, any of the interviews that he does. I don't know if it's either prompted by the interviewee or he just has this innate desire to continue to talk about Trump, okay? He's been out of office for 2 years, Sam. It's all right. It's all right. And I understand that he was probably discussing, one central issue here, okay, to the regards of, Trump's residence in Mar-a-Lago got raided by the FBI. Everybody knows about it. I've done a couple of videos on it, and it's just one of the biggest stories in the news cycle right now, okay? So again, how can the FBI do that? But then at the same time, they have it on their hands, Hunter Biden's laptop, as it were. And it's like, okay, cool. I can imagine that's probably how the conversation started, or where it went to at one point or another by a bunch of Brit bongs with just terrible posture and awful teeth. But he made some fantastical claims, okay? It's not the first time that Sam Harris is going to be making some odd comparisons that are out there, okay? Like, he doesn't have the highest opinion of Trump, okay? Case in point, he declares that Osama Bin Laden is far less reprehensible than Trump. Probably because, Osama Bin Laden Osama Bin Laden stood for something? Like, I don't fucking know. I don't even know about this one, okay? I knew about one comparison that he made that we'll get to in a second, okay? One that every other Twitterite out there decides to make at a moment's notice whenever the name Trump is brought up. But we'll just go with this Osama Bin Laden one, okay? The Trump derangement syndrome is cresting as the election approaches. This is back in 2020. Okay. In one of the most reprehensible statements to come from the left this year, of the left behaving reprehensibly, was spoken on Friday by famous atheist Sam Harris. And for those of you who aren't in the know, okay, like Sam Harris, he's bothered me for a long time, okay? Like, I'm not a big fan of anybody who has these type of cringe fucking groups, okay? The Four Horsemen of New Atheism. It's as fucking basement dweller as it sounds, okay? Like, it's a collection of intellectuals that are out there, which you're always in for a fucking high IQ, big-brained conversation whenever somebody needs to declare themselves in that fucking sphere, okay? Like, I know this was decades ago, okay? If you just need some clarification on all this stuff, okay? Sam Harris was the youngest member of this group, okay? He's the most prominent that's still out there. I know Richard Dawkins is still babbling off in the corner about some shit, and it's like, okay, cool, you did good work in your sphere, and now you just want to have known for quotes, I'm against religion because it teaches us that to be satisfied with not understanding the world, and then you'll continue to babble off, not to the same extent that Sam would, but just tell us how Trump is a dictator. Yeah, that's all wonderful, fantastic. Tell us about how he enacted his tyranny, but then at the same time just hand wave away anybody who agrees with your position and never challenge them. That's all wonderful, right? And it's so fucking stupid because these people take the literal interpretation of the word of the Bible and think that you actually believe that the world was flooded and a man built a boat and he took two of every animal. Like, you're so silly for believing that, but then at the same time tell us about the benefits of ayahuasca and going on a fucking acid trip while meditating. It's like, these people are just fucking so brain dead when it comes to this stuff, willingly or not, okay? Like, the interpretation of any of the texts that are out there, your religious texts, pick them, whatever you want, okay? If you go by the literal interpretation, you're gonna believe in a world that's only, 2,000 years old, and that God just put everybody in fucking places, and we all just used to dance and, hold hands across the world. It's fucking retarded, whatever way you cut it up, okay? Or, if you look at the words that are in there, and then interpret them as just simply guidelines, because, okay, cool, you try fasting for 40 days, just don't do anything, okay? And God will reward you for your sacrifice. Wonderful, terrific. Or maybe it's just teaching the principles of having a dedicated moral compass that you put your mind to do something and you can accomplish it. Delaying gratification. Maybe there's little gems to glean from that, okay? If you need it boiled down to a certain level, have a step-by-step guide, you can do that. It's just the principles that are more important than the text. Christ almighty. You think that these people would understand that, but no. We hate religion, even though you adhere to the principles of science like it is a religion. So it doesn't make any fucking sense. And Sam Harris, the youngest member of this group, I had to check who Santa Claus is there, okay, because he's the least prominent. Like, I could be totally wrong on this one, but you don't hear a lot from Daniel Dennett. I had to check his name. The motherfucker's like 80 years old. I've never heard him speak on anything. Unlike Dawkins, Harris, and Christopher Hitchens, who passed away a little over a decade ago at this point. Oh, sorry, early to mid 2000s is when he passed away. He was probably the most based one of this entire group right here, and he might have eventually, okay, if given the opportunity, could have been at odds with the other two most prominent figures in this realm. But yeah, that's who Sam Harris is, okay, a devout atheist who thinks that Trump is worse than Bin Laden, okay, more reprehensible. We'll get that right, okay. During an episode of his Making Sense podcast, which is hilarious, Harris said, Osama Bin Laden as a person is far more understandable to me and far less reprehensible personally, psychologically, than Trump. This was no gaffe or momentary slip-up, as outrageous as it is. There's a statement Harris has said before. In a February 18th audio clip, Harris declares, I find Trump more despicable than I found Osama Bin Laden. With Osama Bin Laden, it's just obvious to me that he could have been a mensch in some sense, right? He's making serious sacrifices for ideas that he deeply believes in. It's committed to a greater cause than himself. All right, I didn't even know that that was the quote. I could just imagine that. Okay, it's the exact same thing that people would say, well, at least Hitler believed in Germany. And he's made those stupid fucking claims as well, okay? It's a little bit different. I had to go through like a third-hand source in order to find this, because I knew about it at the time as it was going down, okay, that he had some comparisons to Trump and Hitler close to the election, so... And again, I think that this specific podcast where this comes from, okay, it's behind a paywall or I can't find it or something like that. So I'll just let Sam say the words himself, okay?
To their worst possible settings, but this doesn't actually make him the worst possible person. I mean, when there are people who are, objectively worse than Trump, you just, compare him to Hitler. Hitler is worse, but the things that actually make Hitler worse are actually virtues. Right, I mean, like courage.
There you heard it from the atheist's mouth. Hitler, by the virtue of what makes him worse, therefore makes him more virtuous than Donald Trump. Like, the motherfucker's crazy, okay? And we just had that reaffirmed at the end of last week with him saying Sam Harris admits the censorship of Hunter Biden's laptop was a conspiracy to help Biden, and he stands by it. Oh boy, did he stand by it. Speaking with the podcast Trigonometry on Wednesday, which, God, like, okay, I used the clip from Sitch and Adam in order to get that, and I hold them with a little bit more reverence, but they use this stupid fucking enlightened centrist term, which is retarded, and they're just kind of devolving into the same sort of mental degeneration that Sam Harris is in a different sense. That could be a topic for another time. I like the product that they put out there, but it's fucking intellectually vapid content. Vacant. That's what I was going to say. Anyways, back to this, okay? Like Sam Harris, trigonometry, that's what I was going to say. They're just fucking useless. They're just on stage one of the culture war. They aren't catching up to everything that's really going on. They're just a bunch of fucking Brit bongs that just make assholes out of themselves. But they weren't the biggest assholes in the room when the Sam Harris was there actively destroying his career in real time until he makes another equally stupid statement. Admitted the censorship of the Hunter Biden laptop story during the 2020 election was a left-wing conspiracy to help Biden get into the White House, and that any corruption from the Biden family was infinitesimally compared to the corruption we know Trump is involved in. What's that? What corruption is Trump involved in? Russia? Oh, wait, that was debunked in real fucking time. Ukraine? Oh, don't get us started on that, Sam! But what else? What other corruption can you point to? But you just know this stuff because you've got the biggest brain in the room, right? You want proof of concept to this? Okay. There was a lecture series that Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson were going around a couple of places in Europe. Then they stopped, I think it was in Vancouver or something like that. It's a 4-part series. It's all up on Jordan Peterson's channel, okay? Part C, I think the third debate that they have, it just really exposes Sam Harris as just being one of those petty proto pseudo debate bros that are just, whenever they're not winning their argument, they just devolve into petty ad hominem attacks, and Jordan Peterson snaps on him as much as Jordan Peterson can snap on him. Oh, listen, bucko, you better clean your room and wash your dick, 'cause I'm about tired of you. Anyways, yeah, back to Sam Harris being insufferable. And he says, I could play the clip, but you guys can just watch it, because I don't know if they copyright their stuff. It's high production value, and I'm sure that they probably do in some form or fashion, but whatever. We could go down that rabbit hole endlessly. Okay. I don't see the atheists on the other side of this. Just quick aside before we go back to this. Okay. Like Ben Carson, a prominent conservative or prominent Republican. Okay. And also, similarly, a neurosurgeon as well, but his accomplishments far outweigh that of Sam Harris. Okay. Sam Harris is in a goofy group with a bunch of old guys, and one of them's dead. Okay. And Ben Carson, on the other hand, he was the first doctor ever to separate Siamese twins that were attached at the fucking brain, okay, successfully. He has a terrible speaking voice, and listening to anything that he says, even though there are gems of wisdom in there, don't do that if you need to have high energy or if you're trying to stay awake, okay? If you're trying to learn something and go to bed at the same time, oh boy, that'll work better than any 632 high frequency fucking shit that YouTube's been pushing lately. Have you guys noticed that as well? But anyways, yeah, Sam Harris, atrocious speaking voice, okay? Monotone as a motherfucker and pretentious as it fucking gets. I don't like him, in case that wasn't coming across, okay? Everything that he says, everybody else says, okay, in that sphere, better, more charismatically, and without the pomposity. That's what I appreciate. We could go down the rabbit hole endlessly and understand that he's getting kickbacks from Hunter Biden's deal, and Ukraine or whatever else, or China, is infinitesimal compared to the corruption we know Trump is involved with. Or involved in, sorry, said Harris. Comparing what is actually provably categorically provable on Hunter Biden's laptop in regards to the big guy, okay? All of the evidence that we've seen as well from both the iCloud and iPhone leaks and on the laptop as well, that Chinese and Ukrainian businessmen were coming to the fucking White House while Joe Biden was vice president in order to meet with Joe. You want to talk about provable corruption that we know of? Again, you're off fucking base when it comes to this one. You might be a smart dude, okay? You might have a loud megaphone, but you're wrong on this. You're wrong. It's like a firefly to a sun, right? I mean, this is, oh my god, I know, you could probably watch the clip and it's going to be completely different context. Not really, these are still his words, and he stands behind them because he went on this long fucking Twitter thread saying, I don't back down, actually I just needed more context, and then continued to dig your hole. He'll just do this for a couple of days and then threaten to leave Twitter, and then just like every other fucking addict out there, just come back with some other equally retarded take, and then the cycle continues anew. Anyways, no, he sounds like a host on the Young Turks, okay? He'd be like, oh, of course, Trump's a Nazi, of course, right? He's just about a third the size of that fat cunt. Anyways, I mean, like, there's just, it doesn't even, see, okay, like, he's a smart dude. Nobody's ever going to take that away from him, but the fact that he needs to jump through so many logical loops just knows that even his own programming is defying him in this moment. He wants to make a smart, coherent thought, but his programming and his hatred for Trump, who probably looks like somebody who used to bully him back in school, because again, he's a nerd, okay? He's a fucking nerd, and Trump, like him or not, is a 6'4", blonde-haired, blue-eyed, orange-skinned dude who is successful, good with women, and Sam Harris has a podcast. He has the idea. He holds foundational that him and his ideas, more specifically him, should be running the world. That should be world order, okay? The atheist world order is what should be out there. And that's why he hates Trump, okay? He sees it as an intellectual step down. But, oh, okay, so yeah, Hunter Biden's laptop. Now he's going to start making his comparisons, which are, oh boy. Anyways, I mean, like, it's just, it doesn't even stack up against Trump University, right? Oh my god. This is like, okay, just calling back to, like, Andrew Tate stuff, the detractors that are over there. Okay, what, Andrew, you like to talk about male self-improvement and the realities of the intersexual dynamics that everybody sees in front of them. Doesn't want to address the uncomfortable truths that are there. But you run Hustlers University and it's a scam. Oh my God. Like, Trump University, it was one of the many businesses that failed for Trump. We understand it. Just bring up Trump steaks and fucking get it over with. But that's the thing about being a billionaire. You have a bunch of different businesses, and then in order to make the taxes work, some of them have to go under. He wouldn't know anything about that, okay? He makes a lot of money, but not billionaire money, and that's why he's big mad. Trump University as a story is worse than anything that could be on Hunter Biden's laptop, in my view, right. Smoking crack, fucking cousins, maybe fucking the former first daughter, or at least doing cocaine with one of her credit cards in close proximity, haggling with prostitutes over the amount of crack cocaine in his possession. Nothing. It has nothing on Trump University. What are you talking about? Okay, now that doesn't answer the people who say it's still completely unfair to not have looked at his laptop in a timely way and have shut down the New York Post Twitter account like that. It's just a conspiracy. That's a left-wing conspiracy to deny the presidency to Donald Trump. Whoa. No, okay. If everything was fair and on the up and up, okay, the people didn't come out and vote for Trump. He doesn't have a right to the presidency, even though you guys think that, oh my God, if he ever comes back, he's just going to reign for an eternity. Oh my God, look what he did last time. Left peacefully and handed over the keys to the castle. Fucking wild. But anyways, like, he's just jumping. I would say trying to connect dots in his head, but he's just jumping from rock to cross a stream, but there's only one rock, and it's on the shore. Yeah, let's just run that back. That's a left-wing conspiracy to deny the presidency to Donald Trump. Absolutely it was. Absolutely, right? Stop looking for affirmations. We know you're full of shit. They're probably looking at you like, oh my God. But I think it was warranted, right? No. You are actively endorsing a subversion of the democracy that you will hold up and say that Trump was trying to ruin. So you think that any measures to take against Trump are valid. Okay, I understand your premise. I don't like it. I don't support it at all, and I think that you're evil for promoting that, but do continue, because you're not done torching your career quite yet. The hosts pressed Harris on the comments, asking whether he was content with preventing someone being democratically elected in this way. Yeah, exactly. Sure would have been a shame if we had that in 2020. Anyways, it was a conspiracy out in the open, but it doesn't matter if it was. Oh, okay, cool. It doesn't matter what part's conspiracy, what part's out in the open. I mean, I think it's like people get together and talk about what we should do about this phenomenon. Yes, smite the will of the people, because us elitists, we know what you plebs really need in your life. It's like if there was an asteroid hurtling towards Earth and the scientists will come get it. Haven't you seen Armageddon? We will put a drilling rig on there and blow it up with a nuke, and that it will just barely go right past the Earth. We're so smart. And we got in a room together with all of our friends and had a conversation about what we could do to deflect its course, right? Is that a conspiracy? Yes, it is. It is a conspiracy, okay? And Time magazine painted it out for everybody, working with the establishment, working with the media, working with the, not the Better Business Bureau, whatever the equivalent in the United States is, okay? Chamber of Commerce. That's what it was. Earlier in the conversation, Harris had noted that Hunter literally could have had corpses of children in the basement. I would not have cared. He literally said that. He actually said that. Hunter could have had corpses of children in his basement. I would not have cared. How can you take anything that he says seriously after that? Okay. Like, I understand. Oh, it's the first son. It doesn't much matter. Okay, cool. Just further that investigation. Oh, okay, cool. How did he source those kids? It's probably all in that laptop that he left in the repair shop because he was too high on crack to go back and get it. Okay, and then you find everything else that's on there. Oh, but no, that's a conspiracy theory. Only our conspiracies are valid, though. Trump's a literal Nazi, okay? He's worse than Al-Qaeda. Holy. But we'll just give the dolt his due and run down this Twitter thread where he adds clarification. I alluded to it earlier, but hey, for posterity's sake, this is how we'll close it out. You know, just give you a real thorough insight into what he's thinking. What preempted this spurg out. There's a podcast clip circulating that seems to be confusing why many people about many people about my views on Trump, which is understandable because I wasn't speaking very clearly. See, listen, you plebs are so stupid. You didn't understand why I hate Trump so much. Okay, I hate him. You're just too stupid to really understand this. Let me, with my big brain, my 3,000 IQ, detail this for you plebs. So, for what it's worth, here is what I was trying to say. 1 of 6 on a thread. Oh boy, why do these idiots always write these lengthy fucking threads? It's just like leftist memes, okay? They're never fucking worth it. Anyways, I was essentially arguing for the principle of self-defense, okay? Where there's a continuum of proportionate force that is appropriate. We understand self-defense, okay? You don't have to think so low of your audience, but congratulations, okay? I guess you think that the people that follow you are stupid. Where there's, yeah, whatever. It's always I've always viewed Trump as a very dangerous person to elect as president of a fake university. Oh, okay, cool, wonderful, fantastic. How many wars again did Trump get us into? Oh, how many places did he scale down the presence of United States military in? Remember, dangerous person, though. How many nukes did he launch? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. I understand. Let alone the United States. And when he became a sitting president, who would not commit to a peaceful transfer of power, which he did. He assumed the office in January of 2017, and then he left it January 20th, 2021. Like, I don't know what you're talking about here. Or are you trying to say January 6th? Which again, he didn't incite. Like, what are we doing here? Again, you're smart enough to know, but you aren't smart enough to tell your audience. Okay, we already know what you think of him. I viewed him as more dangerous still. However, I've never been under any illusion he is an orange Hitler. No, you find Hitler more virtuous. We heard the clip. On the podcast, I was speaking narrowly about the wisdom and propriety of ignoring the Hunter Biden laptop story until after the election. So for the suppression of ideas that I don't necessarily like, I understand. And propriety of ignoring the Hunter Biden laptop until after the election. Thanks, you just needed to hear that again, I guess. I just didn't know where I left off. I've always thought that this was a very hard call ethically and journalistically. No, you didn't, because you just continue to advocate it, okay? Everything that's bad about Trump, put it on full blast. Even if it's not exactly true, just put it out there, okay? If my side is protected by suppressing the truth, yeah, that's fine, okay? We'll deal with that later. Don't worry about it, okay? Tell us more about the jabs. But so there's nothing ethical or fucking journalistically compromising that you'd say about it. So, again, you're a fucking liar, dude. But given what happened with the Anthony Weiner laptop in the previous election, yeah, where he was conversing with underage children, quite like Hunter Biden. Like, it's a perfect analysis, perfect analogy. It was just another one of those undesirable characteristics of Hillary Clinton, which you won't address either, okay? Biden's barely alive. Hillary Clinton was collapsing on the campaign, lest you not forget. But again, Orange Man bad. I think it was probably the right call, right? Yeah, because the Anthony Weiner thing, not the emails on a private server, which actually had classified documents, unlike what you're going to find on the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago, where the president has complete and total declassification ability, as opposed to a Secretary of State or... I forget what Anthony Weiner was. Oh, a pedophile, right. Nothing I said on that podcast was meant to suggest that the Democrats would have been right to commit election fraud or take any other illegal measures to deny Trump the presidency. No, just suppress anything undesirable about Joe Biden. No, there's nothing tampering of an election on that. No, not a suppression of information at all. You're just clearly making all this stuff up. He thinks his audience is fucking stupid. Okay, if you're an atheist, that's wonderful, fantastic, live your life however you want. I frankly don't give a fuck one way or another. But if you hold Sam Harris as any sort of an intellectual juggernaut, especially at this point, I don't know what to tell you. Go touch grass and find somebody who's at least got his fucking head screwed on properly. Spoiler, that's not Elon Musk either, but that's another topic for another day. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.